Obama makes headlines, Americans are fighting for Russia, and Trump can't stop building concentration camps. My name is Jovan Bradley, and this is the Weekly Dump. At least think of this. Where's the theme song, guys? The opening intro video? We're doing it again. Okay, we're tech. You want me to do my intro again? Sorry, chat. I'm talking to producer Steve. He wants me to do the intro again. So pretend that I didn't say anything. Okay, pretend I didn't say anything. Here we go. Okay, here we go, guys. Ready? Scene. Marker. Obama makes headlines, Americans are fighting for Russia, and Trump can't stop building concentration camps. My name is Jovan Bradley, and this is the Weekly Dump. Welcome to the Weekly Dump, your number 2 source for number 1 news. We've got a doozy of a show lined up for you today. A little bit of news, a little bit of debates, a little bit of everything. I'm live in the studio, back again to the Dump's new permanent home. We've got producer Steve, TD Chris, and DOP Jonathan all in house today as we bring you the biggest dump we can. Now, okay. Sorry, TD Chris in my ear threw me. Before we get started, guys, I have to ask a question to the technical team. Can we turn my monitor off so that I don't hear myself? Because I can't talk like this. I feel like I'm talking like, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Here we go, guys. Now, just a reminder, okay, to everybody watching the show, this is our 4th episode of the Dump. So we're still getting the swing of things. We're moving along. We're trying to get everything. We are in wonderful studio. What is it, Chris? Studio B? Studio A? What do we call this again? Studio B, the beautiful Studio B. What do you guys think of our setup today comparatively to how it's been? I personally think this is the best we've had the show. That's just me. I don't know what chat thinks because I actually can't read chat, but I will go back and see what chat thinks. So let us know what you think of this setup. Let us know what you think of the show as is right now. And, we'll ask you later. And a reminder, you will have the ability to call into the show and argue or discuss any of the topics we talk about today. The call-in lines are going to open up about 10 minutes before we begin doing calls. So if you disagree with anything, if you agree and you're just like, I want to add this little tidbit, if you just want to call and tell me I'm a good boy, remember, call in and tell me. The number should be above me real quick so that you guys know what number to call in. There it is. Call Jovan. 914-268-6224. That number again is 914-268-6224. We'll let you know when the call-in lines open again. They're going to open about 10 minutes before we start taking calls, so we'll let you know. We are also going to shout out Super Chats, but I'm going to be honest. We haven't set that up fully yet, but if you want to send a super chat, I've got YouTube chat here, so I'll at least see the super chats and I can maybe tell you about them at the end, but right now, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get there. Okay. So we're going to start off with our news today so that you guys know what's happening in the U.S. this week. It is Sunday, July 27th. So let's get into it, okay? So, you know how some Americans really want to move to Canada to avoid fascism. They prefer maple syrup and Mounties to the crushing weight of having a rapist in the Oval Office. Well, what happens when America is too woke for some fascists? They move to Russia. That's right. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. This is not a bit. okay? There is literally a project called the American Villages in the Istra-Moscow region of Russia. And no, the village isn't just a Walmart with a McDonald's inside and a Coca-Cola fountain in front. This is something completely different. The American Villages are designed specifically for Americans who think America has gotten too woke. You know, nothing really says freedom quite like moving to a country run by an authoritarian regime that's currently invading its neighbors. The whole thing was started by this guy, Tim Kirby. And if you think he should be playing a humanized version of Stuart Little, you would be correct. Little high, little low, little Russia we go. Now, Tim is an American expatriate. He's a blogger and a radio show host who moved to Russia in 2006 and apparently thought, you know what this place needs? More Americans complaining about participation trophies and the evils of transgenderism. So Tim pitched his $1 million idea. Let's build a village that is specifically for Americans fleeing what he calls liberal gender norms, which I have to say is a very specific thing to be so mad about that you move 6,000 miles away. Now here's where it gets good. Putin was apparently so into this idea that he created what officials are calling a shared value visa. Basically a visa for anyone who is anti-woke, or, as Putin describes it, anyone against destructive neoliberal ideology. I mean, what's next? A my kids don't respect me passport? Or how about a get off my lawn green card? The visa program, launched in August 2024, targeted people from 47 countries that Russia considers unfriendly, which, let's be honest, is basically everyone who doesn't actively help them rig elections. But here's the thing about Tim's American Village Paradise. It's been about as successful as a screen door on a submarine. Now, they allocated 75 acres for the project, and then claimed thousands of Americans were interested. But after more than a year, they've built only 2 houses. 2. I've seen more ambitious construction projects on Minecraft servers, run by 8-year-olds. No, Jimmy, I will not build you another portal in my base. You can risk being overrun by zombie piglins, but I refuse. Now here comes the real Kremlin-style kick in the pants. The families who moved to the American Villages had to pay for everything. Everything themselves. The houses, the electricity, the plumbing. It's like a GoFundMe, but instead of helping with someone's cancer treatment, you're crowdfunding your own exile. So now we introduce the hero of our story. Meet Derek Huffman, a 46-year-old father from Texas who moved his family to the American Villages because he was worried, and I cannot make this up, that American schools being just way too gay. One of Derek's children came home from school one day after learning from another student that lesbians exist. And this sent Derek into a conservative meltdown. And at the end of it, he realized he just had to leave his Texas home immediately. Derek figured the best way to fast-track citizenship was to join the Russian military as a welder. Spoiler alert, they didn't make him a welder. Derek, who has 0 military experience and speaks 0 Russian, got 3 weeks of training in Russian, and then got shipped off to fight in Ukraine. His wife, in a now deleted video, made desperate pleas for thoughts and prayers and cold hard cash. Clearly, regretting every decision in life she had made that led to this point. And to add to the circus, the family hasn't been paid a single penny. Not one dime. Not one single ruble for Derek's service. So, let me just recap. Derek left notoriously woke Texas for Russia, got conned into military service, and is now fighting as an unpaid intern. Do you smell that? It smells like karma. But to be fair, I also huffed a massive amount of lead paint before this, so it could also be a stroke. The American Villages currently have 2 families living in it, and approximately 0 successful outcomes. So if you're thinking about fleeing American wokeness for Russian traditional values, maybe just move to Florida instead. Sure, you'll still have to deal with crazy politics, but at least the Gators here speak English. What are your thoughts on the American Villages? Remember, we'll be opening phone lines up after we finish with our news for the week. So, if you've got a take, make sure you let me know. You can also send a super chat on YouTube. I can't guarantee this week that we'll see it. I promise, next week, we got you, fam. Next up, former President Barack Obama is making the news for a few reasons this week. And this first one is just a bit silly. On the 16th, Prezi Obama appeared on his wife Michelle's podcast, IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, and had some interesting things to say. Roll the clip.
Mm-hmm. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
So Obama goes on this podcast to talk about raising boys, and he mentions that young men benefit from having diverse role models, including gay mentors. And this is just so obviously an objective fact. I know I became a better person when I started taking life advice from these finely dressed gentlemen. There we go. He talked about his experiences and how being around someone of a different background helped to shape his thinking and who he would grow up to be. Sounds pretty reasonable, right? Well, the manosphere heard this and collectively lost their goddamn minds.
Them folks about Obama, but they're gonna have to hear me this time.
Gay professor.
No, we're not going there. No, he's about to do it. He's about to do it. He's about to do the thing. He's about to do the thing, man. Oh, man.
Obama, you gay as f***. Yo, this mad fruity, bro. Every man needs to have a gay friend. What the f*** does that even mean? What does that even mean? And you talking out of experience.
Recently, in an interview, former President Barack Obama said that every boy needs a gay man in their life. I personally think that Obama is the gay man we all had in our life.
Now, I don't think I've seen this big of an overreaction since Kent Mansley prematurely told the U.S. Army to fire a missile at the Iron Giant, thus setting off a chain of events which ultimately led to the Iron Giant sacrificing himself to save Hogarth and the entirety of Rockwell, Maine. There were supposed to be pictures there, but I think the guys are behind a little bit. Now, you and I both know what Obama was actually saying. That boys need multiple role models in their lives, especially role models that come from more diverse and oftentimes marginalized backgrounds. Revolutionary stuff, right? Like maybe, and this is crazy, but maybe kids benefit from seeing different types of people succeed in life. Look, I get it. The manosphere is scared. They've built their entire identity around this very narrow definition of masculinity. The kind where showing emotion makes you weak and the only acceptable male bonding activity is fucking podcasts. And if you don't know who, we're a little behind on the photos to my gentleman in the booth. The next joke doesn't work without the pictures on screen. That's not the picture. There we go. If you don't know who those two are, count your blessings. Consider yourself lucky. Go out and buy a lottery ticket and split the winnings with me 50-50. Obama didn't even say all boys need gay mentors. He said boys need diverse role models and shared a personal story about a professor who helped him grow. That's it. But the manosphere heard diverse role models and their brains short-circuited, like a Windows 95 PC trying to run TikToks, soon to be M2. Stay tuned for that story later in the episode. And here's the thing that's actually concerning. We're living in a time where young men are genuinely struggling with depression, isolation, and finding their place in the world. The CDC estimates that men make up 80% of all suicides despite making up 50% of the population. And instead of having a real conversation about mental health and dismantling harmful and toxic masculinity, we've got grown men on the internet having full-blown meltdowns because a former president suggested that gay people might have something positive to offer. Why not just go back to attempting to open pickle jars and saving us all the headache? You know what? Maybe the manosphere guys are right to be worried, because if boys start learning empathy and emotional intelligence from diverse mentors, They might grow up to be the kind of men who don't spend their days rage tweeting about a podcast they didn't even listen to. Tell us what you think of this story and more when we open up the call-in lines. The number should pop up here for you up on the screen so that you are ready. Okay? So that's call in me, 914-268-6224. Lines aren't open yet. We'll let you know when they're open, but call in so that we talk later in the show, okay? Switching gears, let's move to our next story. In news that surprised absolutely no one, absolutely anywhere, we've learned that Attorney General Pam Bondi sat down with President Trump back in May to tell him that, yes, his name appeared multiple times in Department of Justice documents about Jeffrey Epstein. Apparently, this meeting took place only weeks before the DOJ announced they wouldn't release the Epstein files to the public. Now, Trump supporters are not happy about this. As we talked about last week, the Epstein files dominated Trump's campaign promises and had a chokehold on conservative media. Now, Trump supporters are openly calling for Bondi to be fired. These are Trump's most loyal subjects, and they're turning on his own attorney general. Trump has responded to all this backlash by calling the Epstein files a hoax and claiming they were made up by Barack Obama and other Democratic figures.
I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier that turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net.
Denial ain't just a river in fucking Egypt, Mr. President. Yes, according to President Trump, Barack Obama somehow traveled back in time to the 1990s and 2000s to create fake FBI files about Jeffrey Epstein just to embarrass Trump decades later. That's some next-level hater shit right there. Obama is out here playing 4D chess while Trump struggles to figure out how to play chutes and ladders. Do I go up the chutes? Do I go down the ladders? It's all too complicated. White House aides have made it clear that no one in the administration is allowed to talk about Epstein without high-level vetting. They've implemented a gag order on discussing Jeffrey Epstein. Trump has now asked Bondi to unseal grand jury testimony related to Epstein, which is just another distraction to avoid his own guilt. The grand jury testimony that's being asked to be released is from an investigation into Epstein in 2005 and 2006, where he was found to be paying underage girls to give him massages that led to sexual acts. These are not related to his sex island, the client list, or anything to do with why people currently want Epstein files released. In fact, when it comes to his sex trafficking cases, Epstein committed suicide before grand jury testimony was even given. They are attempting to distract you, probably from the fact that it seems real likely that Trump is going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Because apparently, the Justice Department just rolled out the red carpet for Jeffrey Epstein's former right-hand woman, who's currently enjoying a 20-year stay at government expense for sex trafficking. Maxwell recently received what's called limited immunity. Think of it as a legal hall pass, before sitting down for a cozy 2-day chat with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Maxwell is the woman who aided and abetted Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking of minors, and the Justice Department thinks she might have some really interesting stories to tell about other people. Maxwell's lawyer is practically giddy, saying, quote, no person and no topic were off limits, and promising, quote, the truth will come out, which in MAGA speak probably means we will lie about our political opponents as justification for prosecution. He also said Maxwell would gladly accept a Trump pardon for all of her efforts, which we'll get to in a second. Now listen, limited immunity is generally given to people in criminal cases who, even though they may have been connected to or even committed crimes themselves, can help prosecutors land much larger and more dangerous criminals. I mean, we've all seen Law & Order SVU. But a line should probably be drawn when it comes to a woman who helped a man traffic children to an island of sexually fucked up millionaires. Meanwhile, Deputy Attorney General Blanche is playing coy, saying they'll share more info at the appropriate time. Translation, we ain't telling y'all shit. But not all is well in MAGA land when it comes to this shit show. Speaker Mike Johnson also expressed doubts. Maxwell will tell the truth. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said it stinks of high corruption. And President Trump, when asked specifically about whether he would pardon Maxwell for her help, well, he didn't say no. We'll see what he did say. We are having technical difficulties. We switched to a new streaming software, and we're still learning it. So we're going to see what Trump said once they get that video queued up. It's going to play, guys. I promise you. Just be patient.
Do you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if she's cooperating?
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something.
Recommended
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out.
I'm allowed to do it is one of the most batshit insane things to respond to someone asking you if you'll pardon a woman who helped traffic minors to a fucking sex island. So let's recap. A convicted sex trafficker gets immunity, special treatment, and 9 hours of FaceTime with top justice officials, while regular folks can't even get their parking tickets reviewed or face-to-face time with their overworked and underpaid public defenders. When you're a high-profile criminal with dirt on powerful people, the justice system suddenly becomes very accommodating. Who knew? Do you think Trump is hiding the Epstein list? Do you think Trump is guilty? We want to hear from you. The call-in lines are going to open soon, and you can let us know what you think. The number is right here on screen, guys, 914-268-6224. That number again, 914-268-6224. Okay? Now, it has been quite a week for our former Democratic Congresswoman turned Trump intelligence chief, Tulsi Gabbard, who this Friday decided to blow the lid off what she's calling a treasonous conspiracy in 2016, committed by officials at the highest level of our government. And by treasonous conspiracy, she apparently means Barack Obama and his team concluded that Russia interfered in the 2016 election. Obama is catching all the strays this week. Now, Gabbard, who, fun fact, was once accused by Mitt Romney of parroting false Russian propaganda, has released what she calls overwhelming evidence that Obama manufactured intelligence about Russian election interference. And, look, when someone who has literally questioned about possible Russian sympathies during her own confirmation hearings starts claiming that investigating Russian interference was itself the real conspiracy, that's not vindication. That's like hiring a fox to investigate why there are suddenly fewer chickens, and then being shocked when the fox concludes the real problem was the farmer who kept counting the chickens. And yes, that is a picture of Nick Wilde. And yes, I have read the Zootopia abortion comic. And yes, we will be talking about said comic on our post show, The After Dump, with me and producer Steve. You're going to tune in for that over on our Patreon for all level 2 members and higher after this show. So again, if you want to catch the conversation about the Zootopia fan comic about Nick Wilde impregnating Judy Hopps and getting an abortion, you got to go sign up for our Patreon. And we'll see you over there after the show. Now, the documents that Gabbard declassified supposedly show that Obama officials leaked false statements to media outlets, including the Washington Post, claiming, quote, Russia has attempted through cyber means to interfere in, if not actively influence, the outcome of an election. Except here's the thing, and this is so important. Multiple investigations, including a Republican-led Senate investigation, have confirmed that Russia did exactly that. There was even a 1,300-page report released after a 3-year-long bipartisan Senate investigation that concluded that Russia did interfere with the election on Trump's behalf. So were those Republicans who were a part of that investigation just like Obama stands, or... But perhaps what's most telling is Gabbard's decision to publicize this report comes at a moment when her standing within the Trump administration had been in question. We covered this a couple weeks ago here on The Dump, when Trump publicly undermined Gabbard's assessment on Iran's nuclear capabilities. So this isn't just about seeking truth. This is about an underling desperately trying to get back in her boss's good graces by telling him exactly what he wants to hear, which is that he was the victim of the greatest political conspiracy in American history. And the truly depressing part is that Gabbard has referred to all this evidence to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution, meaning taxpayer dollars are now going to be spent investigating whether Barack Obama committed treason by having intelligence agencies do intelligence. I do hope they remember that little Supreme Court decision Trump got his backers in the courts to push through, the one that says that presidents have basically total immunity for acts committed under the official office of the president. So anyway, on to our next story. TikTok. The app that taught an entire generation that attention spans are optional and that watching someone dance while explaining the fall of the Roman Empire is peak entertainment. TikTok is getting a second makeover. This time, instead of trying to rebrand away from scantily clad children dancing in a sexual manner, they're building a wall. The Great Firewall of America. TikTok is launching a new US exclusive version of its app on September 5th of this year, internally referred to as M2, while the existing version, codenamed M, will be removed from US app stores on the same day. Now you might be wondering, why is this happening? Well, it all stems from a law requiring TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance to sell it or face a ban in the United States. Because the biggest threat to American democracy isn't corporate money in politics or fascist pedophiles in the highest level of government, allegedly, it's the fast and uncontrolled spread of ideas and information. And here's the real interesting part. The Chinese government has repeatedly said it would block any transfer of the app's algorithm to a new owner, meaning any new, separate American TikTok would need its own algorithm. So essentially, we're creating American TikTok, but without that secret sauce that makes TikTok, well, TikTok. And the timeline? Well, US TikTok users will need to migrate to the new version to maintain access beyond March 2026, when the current app will cease functioning. So American users have from September 5th, 2025 until March 2026 to say goodbye to the original TikTok and hello to Trump Talk. What's particularly rich is that this whole saga stems from national security concerns, the fear that China might use TikTok to gather data on Americans. Meanwhile, American companies have been harvesting user data for years, with all of the discretion of a combine harvester in a cornfield. Facebook literally had a scandal about this called Cambridge Analytica. And yet here we are, worried that Beijing might know that Kylie from Cincinnati watched 847 videos about making friendship bracelets last Tuesday. And let's talk about the buyers for a moment, because Trump announced that a group of very wealthy people are looking to buy the platform, and he'll reveal their identities in the coming weeks. The fact that we're keeping the buyer's identity secret while demanding transparency about Chinese ownership is like saying we don't trust foreign billionaires with your data, but we absolutely trust our mysterious domestic billionaires. It's nationalism, but for venture capitalists. The scariest part is US-approved firms like Oracle are already being tasked to come in and work on the new app. And before you breathe a sigh of relief that you'll still be able to consume your easily digestible AI slop, Oracle was the company that helped build the Project 2025 database of Trump loyalists. So, maybe don't use M2. The bottom line is this. We're witnessing the balkanization of the internet, one app at a time. Instead of addressing the real issues of data privacy and corporate accountability, the effect all social media platforms were playing an expensive game of digital musical chairs. And when the music stops in September, American users will find themselves downloading M2, an app that promises to be exactly like TikTok, except American-made and probably about as satisfying as diet water. This is what happens when geopolitics meets social media, meets corporate desperation, meets regulatory theater. Next up, President Trump signed a big executive order Thursday called Ending Crime and Disorder on America's Streets. That basically tosses out what we've been dealing with, houseless people, for decades. Instead of the let's get them housed first strategy, we're apparently following the new status quo of let's put the undesirables in concentration camps. The order tells federal agencies to help states and cities scoop up houseless people from the streets and dump them into institutions whether they want to go or not. So much for personal freedom, I guess. Essentially, The order will federally criminalize being houseless, and if you refuse to go to a specified government tent city to receive forced services, you'll be jailed. Which I'm not sure if you know this, but forced rehabilitative services have a lower level of success than Shaq does at shooting free throws. While the spirit of the executive order is evil incarnate, some of the statistics it mentions are actually true, and shameful for the wealthiest nation on earth. Let's dive into what's real and what lies are that give the excuse to send houseless people to concentration camps. The executive order claims the number of individuals living on the streets in the United States on a single night during the last year of the previous administration was 274,224, which was the highest ever recorded. HUD data from 2024 backs this up. This also represents an 18% increase from 2023, confirming that this was the highest ever recorded. One caveat, however, is that this has only been tracked since 2007. The executive order claims that nearly 2/3 of houseless individuals report having regularly used hard drugs like methamphetamines, cocaine, or opioids in their lifetime, which, according to a 2023 UC San Francisco study, is accurate. The study showed 65% regularly used illicit drugs at some point in their lives. However, the executive order fails to mention that only 37% are currently using within the last 6 months, and 25% never use at all. But that's just about where the facts end. The next claim of the executive order is that an equally large share of homeless individuals reported suffering from mental health conditions. This is true, only if you count things like depression and anxiety, two of the most common mental illnesses among the broader population. However, when you only consider serious mental illnesses like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, that number drops dramatically to around 25%. And the last and most egregious claim that is just patently false is that housing first policies deprioritize accountability and fail to promote treatment, recovery, and self-sufficiency. However, extensive research contradicts this. Housing First actually works pretty well at keeping houseless people housed, with studies showing 66 to 90% of people staying in their homes, way better than the old treatment as usual methods, according to Australian Housing and Urban Research Institute's Comprehensive Evidence Review on Housing First implementation, effectiveness, and outcomes. This isn't some fly-by-night policy either. We're talking about extensive research spanning years of real-world implementation. The approach is pretty straightforward. Get people into permanent housing first, then worry about addressing their other issues like mental health, addiction, or employment. It sounds radical, right? Except it turns out that when people aren't worried about where they're sleeping at night, they're actually better equipped to deal with their other problems. Who could have predicted that basic human needs matter? Multiple randomized control trials, the gold standard of research, have been analyzed in meta-analysis and consistently found that Housing First cuts down on emergency room visits and hospital stays compared to traditional approaches. That's not just good for the people getting housed, it's also saving taxpayer money because emergency rooms are about the most expensive way possible to provide health care. But apparently, saving money while actually helping people is less appealing than performative satisfaction of cleaning up the streets. The research consistently shows Housing First is especially effective for helping mentally ill houseless folks find and keep stable housing long term. We're talking about some of the most vulnerable people in our society, people who've often been cycled through shelters, hospitals, jails, and streets for years. The evidence shows that when you give them a place to live without jumping through hoops or proving they're housing ready, most of them stay housed. Studies from places like Finland, which virtually eliminated houselessness using Housing First principles, show success rates that would make a policy file lose their minds. Even in the US, cities that have implemented Housing First have seen dramatic reductions in their chronically houseless populations. Houston, for example, cut its houseless populations by over 60% between 2011 and 2022 using this approach. But sure, let's scrap all that peer-reviewed evidence. Let's scrap all that evidence-based policy that's been tested across different populations, cities, and countries for the tried and true lock-em-up approach. Institutional approaches cost more money and have way worse outcomes. But hey, at least they make it look like something's being done. And isn't that what really matters? The appearance of action over actual results? Look, the bottom line is this executive order is just another policy position to justify even more concentration camps. And if you're on board with that, well, you can kindly go fuck yourself. That's our news for the week. Hopefully we got some people interested in calling. We're going to open up the call-in lines right now while we go to a quick break. So you can call us at 914-268-6224. That number again is 914-268-6224. In the meantime, I want you guys to enjoy the second episode of Jovon the Streets. And again, call into us, okay? Call that number because we're about to open up the call-in lines. And we'll be back after this brief 10-minute break. Since his re-election in 2024 and being sworn into office in January of 25, Donald Trump has made it his mission to target immigrants in the United States. Through his ramping up of ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Division of the Department of Homeland Security, many Americans, both documented and undocumented, have feared for their safety and worry about the threat of deportation. Amanda Informed and I took to the streets of Orlando during a 5150 anti-ICE protest to ask people how they feel about ICE, Donald Trump, and more. This is Jovan the Streets. All right, what's up, guys? Jovon here, and I'm joined today with
Amanda Informed.
And we're at the 5150 anti-ICE protest here at Orlando City Hall.
We're going to be walking around asking people some questions why they're out here today and see if we can get some answers, maybe some opposition.
Let's do it. What do you say to people that say we need organizations like ICE to help keep us safe?
So I'd say that ICE has only existed since 2003. It's a Bush-era abomination that was born from the repression of the war on terror. It doesn't make anybody safer. If you see footage from what's happening to our communities right now, this is violence. This is violence that's being perpetrated on our friends, our family, our communities, and it's doing nothing to actually stop crime in the way that any reasonable person would talk about crime.
Protection from what? From your neighbor, from a friend across the street, someone you ask for help every once in a while. You want protection from them. You can't, like, that will also target not only people who they think will be targeted, but it will target people who they will most rely on too, and they don't even realize it.
Well, we need ICE to protect our borders to a certain degree. But they have gone overboard. They're doing way too much that they've been authorized to do because of our fearless king leader.
You're better at sticking up the top of your head.
That we are safe. Like, this is crazy. The people that we should be scared about are not our hardworking immigrants in our communities who are everywhere from in our food to in our hospital rooms. Like, they've picked one group to demonize, one group to go after, and it's not the people who are dangerous. So ICE has got a gross overreach. They're pulling innocent people off the street and putting them in concentration camps because of a racist propaganda.
Yeah.
Tell people who are watching this who've never worried about ICE to understand? What would you like them to understand?
This country was founded by immigrants. We're all immigrants except for those people who've been here for 100,000 years. So why should we treat them like that? And the people that claim to be Christian in this administration are not acting very Christian.
I guess you have to be worried, everybody has to be worried, because from what I read and what I hear, they're picking up people that are even American citizens. So I would caution everybody to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's.
I don't feel that interested in, trying to ask people if they have any shame or where's their humanity. It's pretty clear that anybody who is engaged in this kind of concentrated ethnic cleansing can't be appealed to their morality. So what I would say is that events like this, events like the No Kings, what you're seeing across the country, give evidence to the fact, and the polling gives evidence to the fact that people do not like this. And people are mad, and people are going to sit idly by while our communities are under attack.
Internment camp and a possible second camp being put together at Camp Landing?
Again, it's not what America is about. This is not the country that we've always dreamed of. This is not what the Constitution was built on. We are way more better than that. And what our government represents does not represent us, the people. I know where the people stands, and the people are with Superman. The people are with the immigrants, and abolish ICE. We don't need ICE. Get them out of here.
What's happening there in this detention camp, this concentration camp, is people who have been accused of no crime. Immigration infractions are not criminal acts. These are civil infractions, and they are sending people there that have committed no crime, people that are showing up to their immigration court dates. So what we are talking about is an abomination, and they're sending innocent people there.
I've recently heard about that, actually only just a few days ago, and it is kind of fucked up, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse my language, by the way.
Well, this is what my sign's about. I'm very disappointed in you. That's what Mr. Rogers would say. And, as pastors, there's a limit to what we can say. But yeah, it's just horrible. And people are just, they're just always looking for someone to hate and someone to look down on. And I don't understand it. And it doesn't even make sense that people are really doing that. But they are. We saw a kid in a thrift store the other day. He's wearing an alligator Alcatraz shirt. And he just looked like he was 14 years old. I mean,
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
Same people that posed in front of lynchings, 100 years ago, and it just breaks our heart.
One more question. If you could tell the people who are running ICE, if you had 30 seconds to tell them anything, what would you like to say to the people running ICE?
That everybody has been taught a golden rule, and to do unto others only what you would wish that they would do to you. And no matter what religion you have or what values that you have, that's the basis for humankind. And if they cannot follow that, they are not human.
I would just say stop tearing apart families, especially, they said they were coming after criminals, after drug cartels, after rapists. All you see is them tearing up a bunch of families, seeing kids being detained. It's not what America is about.
If you could say anything at all to current administration, to the people who are the heads of ICE, to just any random person who might have more conservative leanings, like one message to these people, what would it be?
That the people are watching, and that the people are speaking, and what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, and how, if all you do is listen to the things that confirm what you already believe, how will you ever find out that you're wrong? And you are wrong, but how will you ever know? And that's just an important, that people, they're the biggest proponents of doing their own research, and they need to do their own research.
Thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far into the video, comment down below and let us know what you think of ICE, immigration, and the Trump administration's efforts to deport people. Thank you to Amanda Informed for joining me on this video. Follow them at Amanda Informed on all platforms. Head on over to Red Mirror Media's YouTube page to check out isolated clips from this episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more Jovon the Street. Oh, hi, it's me, Jovan. Nice to see you. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Jovon the Streets. It's pretty good. Here, can everybody hear me? Am I on? Okay, okay, that's fine. Chat, you'll let me know if you hear me, right? Because now we're at the just like hanging out part. So I'm hanging out with chat while we wait to get our callers onto screen. I have a little bit of a echo, not an echo. I hear myself, and that's the echo. If we could get that fixed, Mr. Technical Director Chris. Yes, that's so much better. We are going to be debating now. So I know we already have callers. You know what we didn't think about, Stephen, Chris, and Jonathan, is how you were going to tell me who the next caller was. Oh, what's wrong with the overlay? Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah, sure. We got Joey coming in, pronouns he, him. Let's bring. Whoa. Oh, okay. Okay. We're all new systems, all new things. It's going. Okay, hello, Joey, are you there? Oh, it's going well. How are you today, friend? I didn't even think about that. Thanks for telling us about that, Joey. What did I hear? I see here today that you wanted to talk. You just wanted to tell me you've been a fan. Is that Hey, what borough? Oh, Long Island. I used to work in Long Island, in Ronkonkoma specifically. True. Oh, hey, real quick, guys. Nobody can hear Joey. Okay, Joey. Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can. Chat. Can you hear Joey now? Say something, Joey. Let's see if chat can hear Joey now. We're getting all this technical stuff worked out, guys. Relax. Oh, what did I just do? Joey, keep talking.
All right, chat. Can you hear me?
We gotta wait for it to pick up and see if chat hears Joey.
Chat, drink your water. It's hot out.
I hear Joey. Chat negativo. Did you unmute him in vMix? Okay. Oh, now they said they can. Okay, Joey. Go ahead and start your whole thing again, JoJo.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm just calling you as a fan. Been watching you for about over a year now. Even in this like short year and a half, I just want to say it's been a journey like cementing more into like my beliefs and just like trying to toil around with like all that stuff. Like I definitely feel myself not leaving the left anytime soon. Thankful for that. And yeah, your show is one of the few shows that I can listen to that gives me a spark of hope and makes me proud to be a leftist in these trying times.
Damn, Joey, take me to dinner first. Damn. No, but thank you so much for the kind words, friend.
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, Joey, thanks for calling in. We're going to move on to our next guest. Everybody say goodbye to Joey.
All right, take care, Jovon, and keep on roasting those chuds in the calls.
All right, thank you, Joey. You have a good one.
Ciao.
All right, next up, we have Steven, who is, pronouns are he, him, who is calling about the Texas man who ended up in Russia. So let's see. Remember, if you want to call in, 914-268-6224, you can talk to me about anything, but mostly about how Trump is a piece of garbage. Steven, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right,
Can you hear me?
Steven, you said you wanted to talk about the Texas man. Is this true?
Yes.
All right, Steven, what do you have to say about Mr. Derek Hullum, who is now fighting an unpaid war in Russia?
Real quick, I just like to say that my name is pronounced Stefan.
Oh,
I
Stefan.
mean, I get that a lot, but
okay, got it. Stefan, my apologies.
I mean, nah, it's cool, man. I got it all my life. It's fine.
Listen, I get Jovan, so I understand.
No, but yeah, so I'm from Texas, and I was born in the little dot of this big red turd, and
big red turd
to
is
hear,
so good.
but to hear that a Texas man really left America because it's too woke, especially here in Texas, baffled me, and honestly, I wasn't all that surprised.
Mm-hmm. I will say, something that's very funny about this is there are rumors floating around the internet about him, dying. We weren't able to confirm any of these rumors here with our research team on the dump. But what is funny is when we looked at this, I did see reports that his wife had received from the Russian government a bunch of potatoes. And the Russian government is known for sending really weird presents to people whose spouses die in battle. But so far, unsubstantiated rumors.
That's odd. That's all I could say about that. But yeah, no, it shouldn't have come to any surprise to him that joining the military in Russia would have had him end up on the front lines.
So Stefan, let me ask you a question. What do you think, okay, of the fact that he thought Texas was too woke?
Honestly, it if he was in one of the blue cities like Dallas or Austin, I could. I mean, I'm a leftist too. I'm considered woke by Texan standards, but it wouldn't have come as a surprise, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will say, it's very interesting to find out that your daughter knows what a lesbian is, and then go, you know what? I need to leave the country. Seems like a bit of an overreaction, if you're asking me.
No, almost definitely an overreaction.
Absolutely. So I think what is most likely going to happen is, I mean, his wife seems to say that they're staying. She keeps releasing YouTube videos, and in them she's like, we're doing great. We're in the rich part of Russia. I walk my dog. My kids eat ice cream. And I'm just like, I hope one of your kids doesn't come. Well, they won't. I mean, I assume if any of their kids turn out to be a part of the LGBTQ, they're not coming out. I just assume that's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Because if they do, Russia has been known to not be super friendly,
them or even kill them.
Yeah, Russia's not too friendly to our LGBTQ friends. But speaking of this, I just want to say, trans women are women, trans men are men. Minors deserve gender affirming care. all rights, gay people should be allowed to adopt, whatever salacious thing the right hates hearing. I throw it all out there.
And I agree with all that.
But Stefan, we are at our time. Thank you so much for calling in. I hope you continue watching the show. And what do you think of the dump today?
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Beautiful. That's all we need to hear.
It's easily digestible and enjoyable to me.
We love easily digestible content. Thank you so much for calling, Stefan. You have a great rest of your day and enjoy your night, friend.
You too, man. Have a good one. All
right. Chat, I think that's the only people that have called today. We got to make sure we drop his call for I don't think anybody else has called in, but if you want to chat, we're still here. We're still going. I think somebody is currently calling into the. Yeah, we're screening it right now to see. I think you guys heard pretty much all I said. Now, one of the things I want to mention, okay, when we talked about the Trump homeless concentration camps, right? I was debating about this a year ago. Trump went on. If you go to, Agenda 47, the thing they lied about that they said, this is what we want to do instead of Project 2025. It was a lie. They wanted to do Project 2025. But so when it comes to Agenda 47, on his Agenda 47 website, he had a section about how he wanted to end houselessness. And guess what? One of the ways he wanted to do this was to throw them into, literally beat for beat what he did in the executive order. And I kept telling people, oh, he wants to do this, guys. This is what he's doing. And people kept telling me, no, he doesn't, Jovan. You're overreacting. Huh? He's doing it. What do you mean I'm overreacting? How many people, okay, told me, go back to almost every one of my Trump debates. Please, before the election, go back to them all. And what you're going to find is people go, Jovan, well, why don't you support Trump? Why don't you like Trump? What's wrong with Trump? And I was like, he's literally trying to build concentration camps. And what has he done? He has helped build concentration camps. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong about this. It's literally happening. Anyway, we have Richie on the line here. Richie pronouns are he, him, and is calling to tell us about being trans in Texas. So, Richie, hello. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Jovon.
Great. What do you want to tell us today? I see that you're here to tell us about being trans in Texas, which I am so sorry. Genuinely.
Yeah, it's been hard being newly trans, especially. Not by that, but I mean like as an adult newly trans. I haven't been able to get the Medicare or the health care that I want because my insurance doesn't cover it anymore because of the changes in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
So
specifically that I'm assuming you were you don't have to tell us obviously, but I assume you were on either a federal or state level insurance. If it's private insurance, that's even worse. That's even more egregious.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing from you, and tell me if I'm right. You can't get your gender affirming treatment.
Yes, this is exactly what the person that I was trying to get the referral to get a diagnosis for gender dysphoria told me that it was a change in the White House and that TRICARE doesn't offer it. That's the insurance. Sorry, I totally.
No, I get it. I get it. We are experiencing. So a lot of people throw out the word or the phrase transgenocide, and very consistently I hear this argument come out of the right, where it's like, well, they're not trying to kill trans people, but like removing gender affirming care from a population that needs it is just going to lead to an increase in mortality. So I don't understand. I don't know what they think is going to happen.
Literally, I would be so much happier, and I know this because I've not only have I had friends, but seeing other people, and I'm like, I want that, So just it's been hard, especially when you have people close to you who actively did not bother to do the research on what their vote would do for their family. Is really heartbreaking and just frustrating for me.
I empathize. Obviously, I can't you know, I don't know what it feels like to be trans. I don't know what it feels like to have my identity persecuted in that way. But we definitely all feel for you here on air at Red Mirror and here on The Dump. There are resources that if you, I don't have them on hand, or I would tell you to wait on the line and we'd have somebody give them to you. But there are resources. I'm trying to remember the name of the, oh man, Jory does fundraisers for them. There's a trans healthcare fund, and I cannot remember the name of it. Somebody in chat might remember and be able to drop it in chat. If anybody in chat remembers the name of the healthcare fund, please, on God, drop it in chat. Please drop it in chat, guys. But there are resources if you haven't already started looking into those.
I totally have. It's just a lot of the resources that I've seen are very like inconsistent on what they offer.
Mhm.
Like they'll tell you they'll offer this, but they actually only offer like maybe only therapy for a few months, and not the stuff I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you I do hope that you get that care, because I know that that's very important. Was there anything else you wanted to say, Richie?
Well, I just wanted to say that watching you as a trans individual has definitely opened my mind, not only to the scientific aspect, but like the, just, I've learned so much from you is what I'm trying to say.
Well, thank you.
Not only for myself, but like for others that might also be confused and stuff.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Richie. Thank you for calling in, and we hope that you call back soon.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks. You too.
That was Richie, everyone. We have a couple more people on the line. Nobody that's here to debate. It doesn't look like we have any debaters calling in, so we don't have anybody who's calling in that wants to like argue with me, right? Where are all the Trump supporters? Where are all the? You know what it is? Trump supporters are scared to debate him anymore, because like, how do they defend it? Right? All you do is bring up the Epstein files, and their whole arguments are gone. They have nothing. Once you bring up Epstein, they're kind of locked into being screwed. You know what I mean? Next up, we've got Damien calling in. Damien's pronouns are he, him, calling from Canada. Let's bring Damien on the line. There we go. Damien, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, Jovan.
Hi, Damien. How are you doing today?
Very good. I won't take up too much time.
All right.
I'm just here to say I'm a big fan of yours. Big hello from Quebec, Canada. Just wanted to let you know that your voice is going beyond the. Sorry, I'm not an English native.
No, you're totally fine.
So yeah, that's that. And I wanted to thank America from saving us from the Conservative Party here in Canada.
All right. Well, Damien, thank you so much for calling in. Stay safe from the Canadian right, which is very weird thing. The Canadian right loves Trump for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah.
you stay safe, Damien, okay?
You too.
Thank you for calling, friend. All right, next on the line. I keep saying next on the line, but that makes me think that we're like on the show The Line, which is a whole other thing. Shout out to Jimmy in the line crew. I need to come up with another thing. Next in the tank, the toilet tank. Next in the tank. We liking that one, chat? Is that the one I should go with? We have the bearded IT guy. They are calling to ask about my input on a recent book ban list. So let's bring him up. Bearded IT guy, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. A little bit tired because I help out at a LGBTQ bookstore, and today we were going over this list, so
Well,
kind of exhausted from it, but
thank you for calling in, friend. And I know your pronouns are they, them. So, what is this? What list is this? Is this like fairly recent?
Yeah, it was, I think, July 11th this list came out and was finalized. It is all of the schools run by the Department of Defense.
Okay, Department of Defense. I'm going to see if I can't pull it up. My crack. 596 books banned by Department of Defense schools, including titles on democracy, feminism, and racism. Oh, boy! Let's see if we can't pull the full list and just see what some of these books might be. Why not, chat? Oh, here we go. Oh, there's a whole court document on it. This is Department of Defense Education et al. It's a civil suit. Oh, they name all the list in the civil suit. Okay. Let's see if I can't find it. Oh my God, there's so many books. Okay. So one of the books is hashtag Black Lives no, is that just telling us what? Yeah, hashtag Black Lives Matters, protesting racism, banned. 10,000 dresses, banned. 50 queers who changed the world, a celebration of LGBTQ plus icons, banned. A is for activism, banned. A quick and easy guide to they, them pronouns, banned. Are you LGBTQ? Banned. I'm not reading all of them, obviously. I'm just looking through some of these. Confronting racism, because nothing says Trump administration like getting rid of a book about confronting racism. Because why would you need to? But I guarantee you, and Bearded IT guy, you coming close to me. I need, because I'm sure you believe the same thing. I bet you they would cry white racism instantly if you said something. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what else is here. I'm looking to see if there's any books that I might recognize, but I don't really recognize any of these, which makes me think, because we have this handy, beautiful bookshelf behind me, I'm thinking we got books to add. You know? I think that would be...
There are some pretty good ones on there.
Let me see. If I Was Your Girl, banned. Intersectionality and Identity Politics, banned. Jacob's New Dress, banned. LGBTQ Service in the Armed Forces, banned. It's so in your face. It's so obvious. Why are we falling for this? This is censorship at the highest level. Peanut Goes for the Gold, banned. I really want to know why they banned a book called Peanut Goes for the Gold. Can we get our crack research team to look up Peanut Goes for the Gold? I'm so interested right now. The Greatest Superpower, banned. The sociology book. Because what is more woke than just sociology? Oh, it's JVN's? Although that's why they banned it. It's a JVN book. It's Jonathan Van Ness. That I don't even need to look any further. That explains why they banned it. And it's not even about the book itself. It's about the person who wrote it. 'Twas the Night Before Pride, banned. Well, this is embarrassing. Anyway, Bearded IT guy, here's my take on it. Really stupid. Any other questions?
Nope. I just figured I wanted to get your take on it and make sure people knew about it.
Yeah, no, this is dumb at the highest level. So thank you so much for calling in, friend. I hope you have a great rest of your night. And thank you for watching The Dump.
Yeah, of course.
All right, you have a good one. See ya.
You too.
All right, next up we have Chris. Chris didn't give any pronouns, but Chris has questions about anyone who supports Trump versus how to really destroy a Trump supporter. So let's pull Chris on the line. Chris, are you there?
Yes.
All right, and what were your pronouns, Chris?
I don't know. I don't know it. I don't have that argument or discussion with people. I'm sorry. That's not a thing for me.
You don't discuss what your pronouns are? Okay. Interesting. What was your
conversation or?
Okay. What was your question? Oh, did he hang up? Okay. Did we get a pronoun crash out? Our first pronoun crash out on the dump? Damn. Okay. Didn't expect that. All right, we're going to bring up Malachi then. Malachi wants to have a discussion about Trump being the Antichrist, so let's bring up Malachi. Yep. Malachi, hello. Welcome to the dump. How are you, friend?
Hello. I am good. I hope you are doing well today.
I am. Malachi's pronouns are he, him, everybody. So Malachi, you want to talk about Trump being the Antichrist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe Trump is the Antichrist?
I believe it is a very real possibility. So, I mean, I am an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I am too. Okay,
no.
so now so as an atheist, you still think he might be the Antichrist? Or are you just using that like hyperbolically?
Well, it's kind of both. Because the thing is, the point I kind of want to make is that regardless of whether or not you believe it to be true, all of the sort of signs and symbology that I grew up with from my grandmother, my Christian side of my family, you know, they have this mythology, especially in the South. I grew up in Texas, about this Antichrist figure that arises who, you know, basically is the embodiment of all of the 7 deadly sins, which we can go over that and we'll probably agree.
I only know the 7 deadly sins from the anime. Oh wait.
Okay.
And Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist and 7 Deadly Sins. Rest in peace, everything after season 1. No, keep going.
Okay, so in any case, so if we accept that Trump is the embodiment of, well, a lot of the bad things that it says in the Bible that the Antichrist says and does, that his followers will wear the mark of the beast on their foreheads, and
Was that when they
will...
was the mark of the beast when they put the tampons on their ears? Do we count that?
No.
Okay, I was hoping.
No, in the Bible, in the Bible, it says that they wear it on their foreheads.
So what are are you saying like MAGA hats?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Would you make the argument that hats are worn on the forehead?
Yes. I mean, you wear it on your head, it covers your forehead. MAGA goes right over your forehead.
Hey, that's true.
You know,
unless you got a big ass head like me, and in which case MAGA's like up here because hats don't fit my head.
But anyway.
Sorry, I'm Malachi. You do not find me funny. Sorry, my apologies. Continue.
It's okay. Trump checks all of those boxes to be the Antichrist.
So what does that mean for us?
Well, I mean, I'm sort of writing a book about this, and you sort of have to buy into a premise of the book in order to sort of get the point that I'm trying to make here.
Are you trying to sell me something here, Malachi?
Yes. So one of the premises of the book is that if you believe lies, the more lies that you believe, you open yourself up to demonic forces, demonic invasion, sort of dark forces, ignorance, really. And what is the difference between someone who's very ignorant and someone who is inherently demonic? There kind of isn't really much of a difference. They exhibit the same destructive qualities. Someone who's extremely ignorant and, you know, racist and MAGA and believes Trump is the second coming of Christ, essentially, you know, they can't be reached with logic or reason. They've completely bought into this lie that
Sure, I don't disagree. I think most
makes
Trump supporters
them-
are either lying or they're in a cult. They're either bad people or they're in a cult. I think there's a lot of them that like could use a good deprogramming, but I don't think that they're receptive enough to be deprogrammed, if that makes sense.
But biblically, they're no different from essentially anti-Christians, which it talks about at the end of days, in the final book in the Bible, that there's Christians that do basically the opposite of everything that Jesus said and are the opposite of Christly behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think we could definitely agree a lot of, especially MAGA Christians are. You know, they don't really.
I think
they
it's
kinda do-
basically impossible to claim to be a Christian and then like support MAGA. I think it's you're going against your own book, like to a crazy, ridiculous degree.
So then my final question would be, okay, so based on everything we've discussed, do you think it's possible Trump could be the Antichrist?
Well, no, I don't believe in God, so no. I think could be considered the second coming of our second coming. How many dictators have there been in the world? You could argue that he's like on the path to dictatorship, right? I mean, part of there's a bunch of people theorizing that the reason he's going after Obama right now is because he wants to run for a third term and he knows that Obama will beat him if Obama decides to step up and do it too. But like, I don't believe he's the Antichrist because I don't believe in Christ, so I don't think there could be an anti.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, calling him the Antichrist, I think that's fun. I say keep doing that, you know. But
I mean,
Malachi,
I think it was a fun thought experiment.
Yeah. Malachi, we've got to move to the next caller, but thank you so much for calling in, friend, okay?
All right, see ya.
See ya. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Oh, man, my phone's telling me I have to take my meds, and guess who doesn't have them with him? Oops. Next up, we're bringing up Brent. Brent's pronouns are he, him. Brent, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Brent. You are calling in to say that Americans are crazy and idiotic? Is that the...
They're stupid. They're Antichrist. I am a proud Democrat. I do support President Obama, and I'm laughing at Trump supporters. It is a cult. Let me tell you something. He played them. He ran for president to avoid prison. That's why he ran for president. They know he had 34 felony charges, and he told them he's above the law. See, I studied law in high school, you know what I'm saying, in the 12th grade, you know, the participation of government, and you cannot go against the Constitution of the United States of America. You cannot run for a third term. If that's the case, President Obama is going to run for a third term, and I'm going to make sure that happens. I'm going to write to Congress myself. I'm good with that. Here in my city, I did a lot of things in my community where I seen these drunks and homeless people stand at the bus stop, and I went to myself, started a petition, and I took it to every business in my neighborhood, and I took it to the authority, the bus company, and they came out and they tore that bus stop down 2022. And I also fought against the bus
Brent,
company.
your mic is coming in a little hot. Can you just back up from it just a little bit?
The bus company put certain things back. I'm going to tell you, Trump supporters, something. You are not about that life. See, he gave them a late license to be tough. They flex their muscles. I encourage them. Won't y'all just come to the hood with a Trump hat on? They will not come to the hood. You know what their safe space is? This internet. The internet is a hiding place. And all those bots that you have in your chat, they're bots. They're fake. It's an algorithm. See, I was on Facebook, and I went against Trump supporters, and why Zuckerberg kicked me off. See, they don't like free speech. They call it TDS. It's called Trump Dumb Syndrome, not derangement. Trump dumb syndrome. He played them, my brother, and I like your show. You keep doing what you're doing, and I'm black power. I'm gonna continue to be black because I'm black. I'm a black man, and I stand for race, and I go by race. And we're gonna put President Obama. He was the first black president to ever run in this country and win the White House. He's mad because he won't show those Epstein files. He hung with Epstein at Epstein Island. He's lying. They don't believe. They believe in lies, my brother. Put two and two. That's why he ran. See, Harris was a threat to these white folks. You know what I'm saying? She was a threat. You know, I really didn't like her, even myself, tell you the truth, what she did to brothers, and you know what I'm saying, when she was a prosecutor. So I really didn't want her in there myself. And I guess America settled for a felon, for a pedophile. That man is a pedophile. He told a 10-year-old girl, I looked it up, go look it up on YouTube, pull it up. He said, when you get older, I'll be dating you. And her response was, okay, go look up on YouTube, bro. It's on YouTube. If Ivanka wasn't my daughter, I'd probably date her. Come on, man.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, friend.
If you a pedophile, you're a pedophile. But we talk about this in church today. I go to church heavily. I was raised in church. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. He played them. They lied. He lied at all his rallies. You know what I'm saying, to them, and they fell for it. You know what I'm saying? And they call him God, King. Only one person is king. That's Jesus Christ. No matter who president, Jesus Christ is still king. I stand for righteousness, bro. I'll be 53 next year. And I live in a Trump-supported neighborhood, all-white neighborhood. They respect me. They don't control that crap. When I told them when I first moved out there, I'm from the hood, and you don't want to go there. Every time they see me, and I've been here 5 years, I had no problems. And they support Trump. At this local bar I frequent. And they be buying me drinks. How you doing, Brent? They worship the ground I walk on. I'm not scared of Trump supporters online either. Don't try to put that fear in me, because I'm not scared of them.
All right, Brent. Well,
I stand for righteousness, man.
Okay.
Black power. Remember, black power. Prime Minister Chris. You have a great show, brother. But I'm gonna keep it from being in the chat. God bless you, man.
All right, Brent. Well,
God protect you.
Yeah, you have a good rest of your day, and thank you for calling in, Brent. All right, you guys heard it here first. Next up, we've got Donovan. Donovan's going to be our last caller for the evening. Donovan's pronouns are any and all that exist. Donovan is a returning caller. Donovan, how are you doing today?
I am. How do you follow Brent?
I don't think you can. I genuinely think you have to just accept the L on this, Donovan, and hang up the phone. I don't think you can top that.
Oh, this time I'm not going by a bar. I'm outside with my son again, but I'm in a playground somewhere more chill.
Right.
But this time, I just, I want to remind everyone, resist everything you can do. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm in Canada, and I'm still out here spreading propaganda, reminding people that we got you. I've got a friend who's had to move here because she's trans, and she did not feel safe there. If you got to go, you got to go. If you can't resist, you can't. But whatever you've got in the tank, everything you've got, make it hard for them to make it hard for you. Because it's not just you. It's the next person in line. When you roll over, then what? They're on to someone else. And that goes for all these companies. We've got CNN and shit who are out there and saying, okay, well, I guess we're not going to run this program anymore.
Well, you don't have them anymore. CBS, Paramount has now just absolutely jerked the Trump penis. So,
what? No, you can't. That is not how this is going to work. Everyone who gets out of the way is just making it someone else's problem. So I'm just out here to encourage.
Yeah, we're pretty avid on resistance here. So we're pretty avid on resistance here at the dump. So we agree with you.
Yeah, I know you do. I'm not here to fight, right? I'm here to unite. And that goes for even Republicans right now. The ones who voted because they were part of MAGA and are now pissed off that the Epstein files aren't coming out, I'm with you. I'm pissed off those aren't coming out. Make it happen.
It's very interesting. A lot of the right goes, well, what happens when there are a bunch of Democrats on that list? Put them in jail. I don't know why. That's not a hard answer. Toss them in a prison, throw away the key.
I don't care if Bernie Sanders. I love Bernie. I think he's the guy. I think, the most interesting and like worthwhile Democrat I've seen in my lifetime. If he's on the list, he goes to jail.
Straight to jail.
Right?
Donovan, we absolutely in agreement. Thank you so much for calling in, friend. You're 2 more call-ins and you get a free call-in. You just need 2 more stamps.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you for calling, Donovan. Thank you so much. We are out of time here on The Dump, guys. That's been our whole show. I hope you've enjoyed it. We are going to be doing this every single week, every Sunday. We will figure out a time. I want to say it's going to be 4 p.m. next week. That's not wood. I'll find wood to knock before I leave. I just want to give a shout out to everybody that helped make the show possible. Shout out to producer Steve. Shout out to technical directors Chris and Caleb. Shout out to director of photography Jonathan. Shout out to call screener Jess. Am I missing anybody? I think that's everybody for today. Oh, yes. Go follow Red Mirror Media. If you're watching this on Red Mirror Media's page on YouTube, thank you so much for watching there. Go follow Red Mirror Media on everything. You can find us on our link tree, and you'll be able to get us everywhere. So go follow us there. Go to the Patreon. We're about to do a Patreon post show. We are literally about to do a Patreon post show. It should start within 5 minutes, where you're going to hear me and Steve talk shop about the Zootopia abortion comic. So if you want to come and do that, come to it. You have to be, don't go subscribe to Jovan Bradley's Patreon. That's a dead page. Nothing's there anymore. Go subscribe to Red Mirror Media's Patreon. If I have a mod in chats, maybe they'll drop a link for you guys. Go there. And we're about to go do a post live show for our Patreon members. Might not be a lot of you. Maybe it might be that there's just one of you who gets your own personal post show. Think about that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the show. I've been Jovan Bradley. This has been the Weekly Dump, and I still don't have an outro. Bye. Oh, wait, I don't know if they know how to stop the stream.